Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of LinkedIn Live. My name is Matt Lozar, Director of Recruitment Marketing at Haley Marketing. Glad to be back here. If you're watching live or on demand, thank you for tuning in and consuming our content. Today, we're going to be talking about wage analysis and using the data from your job advertising to make better data-driven decisions, and how there can be a lot of data, what to look for. Might get a little nitty-gritty with some of the tactics, but just it takes some work to get into that data on the wage analysis of job advertising, and hopefully this will help you with some of the recruitment challenges that are happening today. Some reminders here as we get started. Always check out the Secrets of Staffing Success, the top podcast for the staffing industry. Subscribe on your favorite podcast player. Had a great episode recently from our co-CEOs, David Stearns and Victoria Kenward, with the CEO of Talent Launch. And myself and Brad Biley are recording an episode today that'll drop tomorrow on October 13th. Hope you can tune in. We have new episodes pretty much every Wednesday that will hit Wednesday morning on your favorite podcast player. Head over to recruitmentmarketers.com. All content recruitment marketing for staffing and outside the staffing industry. Just have a bunch of new blogs that have hit the site. Hope you can check them out. Career sites, employment branding, social recruiting, and job advertising. As always, the mothership, Haley.com. Really great content over there for digital content for the staffing industry, help you with your recruitment side, your new business side, ebooks, webinars, podcasts, blogs, great content to show you how to help with your staffing company. And a quick reminder, lunchwithhaley.com, we have a webinar on Thursday, October 14th, 2 p.m. Eastern. Recap from Staffing World 2021, the Haley marketing team that went out to Denver for the American Staffing Association's top conference of the year. Staffing World will have their takeaways. Always really informative if you were able to attend the conference, or if you weren't able to attend the conference. Can't wait to hear what the Haley marketing team had to bring back to us from Staffing World. So we're going to get started here and be jumping in and out of PowerPoint and some spreadsheets today, but really want to dig into how to make better data-driven decisions with your wage analysis, because there's so much information out there, and it's challenging to figure out what information to use, what information is available, and how to use that data to your advantage. And with this challenge of recruitment, there's been a lot of information about what that inflection point is for local markets, for different industries, on the wage per hour people are applying for jobs. And if you dig into your data, if you dig into it by location, if you dig into it by job title and wage, you'll see some great information. So let's dig in here with some information that we'll start with. And this first one is with a staffing company, Pennsylvania, South Carolina, and they have a lot of jobs. They have over 100 jobs here from September, and there's a lot of great data. And when you download your data, you get title, rec number, location, general ID, when the date job was posted, salary, and then the performance data: applies, clicks, spend, percentages, cost per click, cost per application, etc. It can be a little overwhelming. A lot of data here. If you're not used to it and you download these Excel spreadsheets every week, every month, every quarter, you're looking at this data and you're like, Matt, what the heck do I do with this? And it can get overwhelming, and we get overwhelmed, unsure. We just don't post. We don't do anything with it. We just continue to rely on gut instinct and to look at the data. But something we do here at Haley Marketing a lot is to try to analyze this data. If you look at the bottom here, we have some different tabs: titles, category, wage, category and wage, because all that can break down different data. And what we're doing here in this spreadsheet is looking at the different categories of jobs for this client and their different wage. So category and wage, what the performance was. And I highlighted a couple where something that's really interesting. We'll zoom in here a little bit. And factory, for example, this here had a big difference. Might have lost some of my data here as we adjusted some of our spreadsheet earlier, but let's update it here real quickly. The beauty of live TV. But let's look at wages for factory and start to look at for this client where they had a lot of applications when it was around 1525 a month, and here they received a lot more applications for their positions. There was this forklift position, I think, which was one that really had some great data. So if we look at it here, forklift wages for their forklift jobs, $14, $15, $16, $18. Look at the applies on the jobs. $1, $4, or excuse me, one application, 4 application, 22 applications, 26 applications. Even more clicks on these jobs, more spend on these jobs. The cost per application is enormously different. The jobs that are $14, $15 an hour, they're paying over $30 an application. Forklift jobs that are $16, $18 an hour, much lower cost per application, almost a third, even more than a third of the cost for an application that's $18 an hour versus $14 an hour. They're paying $8.28 versus $33.08. A huge difference there in terms of the results for this client. There were a couple other examples that I wanted to show here as well, but that was a couple that really stood out. There's some in this machine operator space where they received a lot more applications. This $16 an hour, if we look at it here, 27, 22, these jobs at $14 or $16 an hour, more expensive or fewer applications. So you're starting to get a lot more data that shows you, okay, here's our data from the month. What can we do with it, right? So you accumulate all this data, you run some sum ifs. You can dig into that on your own in Excel research if you want to. But basically what we're setting up is a query in Excel that says, okay, if our category is, let's jump up here. If our category is forklift and our job wage is $16 an hour, what was our data summed up throughout the month for all jobs, $16 an hour with forklift? $18 an hour at forklift, $14 an hour at forklift, $15 an hour at forklift. You can take this data back to your team internally. You can take this data back to your clients to show when we hit $16 an hour, we received 4 or 5x applications at 30%, 25% of the cost that we were receiving applications with $14, $15 an hour jobs. Really impactful data to share and to take back to your team internally, to take back to your clients, and really use those to help you with future conversations. We're going to look at another client here where they had some similar data. And this is a industrial client in Ohio. We'll zoom in here on some of the areas, but for this assembly job right here, perfect example to where $16, $17 an hour received a lot more, $17 an hour received a lot more applications than $16 an hour. CNC machinist jobs, the wage increased by $9,000 for the year. So, just under $1,000 a month, but just this big difference led 6 applications versus 1 application, $3.68 versus $27, etc. Extrusion operators was the big one for this client. $15 an hour, $16 an hour, $18 an hour, $20 an hour. No applications if the wage for the job was below $16 an hour or less. $18 an hour, $20 an hour, more applications. They didn't even get clicks on the lower wage jobs. That's what's important. So you accumulate all of this data, you set up some queries in Excel to say, if it's an extrusion operator job with this wage, these were our results for the month of September. This is data from our clients from September. Really awesome information. They can go back to their team internally, which can go back to the sales team. That could take directly back to the clients and say, we're not getting results unless we're paying $18, $20 an hour for this job. Doesn't matter how much job advertising we put behind jobs that are paying lower wage, there's just no applications. There's no interest in those jobs. That's what you need to do, is to collect all this data at a job level, then create some queries in your spreadsheets to say, if job title and if wage, what were our results? If forklift and $18 an hour, how many applications did we have in a month? And it's important to set up those queries because you might have multiple forklift jobs at different wages or at the same wage throughout the month. You might post a job on October 12th, October 19th, October 26th, October 5th. You can't just do a one-to-one. You want to make it easy to consume. So we look at this data and analyze it in a spreadsheet, a quick query, really easy to set up. You can just set up the formula once and drag it down. That's how you get your data and really can make some important decisions with your team internally to say, okay, are we even going to take on these positions? Are we even going to accept sales orders for low paying jobs in our market? Because we're not even going to get applications. No matter what we do, no matter how awesome we make the job sound, people aren't applying for the jobs. Huge challenge right now in recruitment. So we're going to jump back over here to PowerPoint. And so how do we make the better data-driven decisions? We talked about that. Tools you can use. Indeed Hiring Insights, really great tool. If you're a featured employer on Indeed, or if you have I think the professional level of resume database access, the higher level of the two will get you access to Indeed Hiring Insights. Career Builder Supply and Demand Report. If you have resume database or talent discovery, you have access to that. I don't use that personally over here at Haley Marketing, but I've heard a lot of companies in staffing and recruiting have good things to say about the Career Builder Supply and Demand Report. And this is an example of a report from Indeed where I just looked up production technician jobs. I think this was nationwide, and it'll bring back a lot of great information. Competition score, so on a scale of 1 to 100, how competitive is the job? Higher the number, higher the competition. Number of jobs, number of job seekers, comparing that to August, job seekers per job. You can also see average salary. You can drill this down to 25-mile increments. So your local market, if there's enough data available, it can show what the average salary is for production technicians in Buffalo, New York, Seattle, Washington, Phoenix, Arizona, Kansas City, etc. Nationwide, $16.09 per hour. Can also see what people are searching for, etc. But use the data to your advantage. Jump into your own data. Look at what people are applying for. Jump into Indeed Hiring Insights, Career Builder Supply and Demand, other resources you might have at the local, regional, national level. Use that to your advantage when talking to your sales team, talking to your current clients on what job orders to accept, on what your current job orders are paying and how to adjust that. We've seen a lot of companies increase their average wage per job in the past, throughout 2021. I don't think that's going to change. So use the data to your advantage to make the best decisions possible to drive better results from your recruitment marketing. Thanks for tuning in today here, either live or on demand. Reminder, lunchwithhaley.com, recap of Staffing World 2021, Thursday, October 14th at 2 p.m. Eastern. Head over there to sign up. Great insights will be coming back from the team that went to Denver for Staffing World 2021. And as always, head over to your preferred podcast player. Hit subscribe to the Secrets of Staffing Success podcast. Episodes every Wednesday. Would love for you to subscribe and listen. We're always appreciative of people who listen to our podcast, consume all of our content. Thank you again for all of your time and attention when there's so many choices out there on content, professionally and personally. My name is Matt Lozar, Director of Recruitment Marketing here at Haley Marketing. Thanks for tuning in today. Hope you had a great presentation and have a great rest of your Tuesday. Take care.